Innate sword body, chaos 9 swords, in this world of ups and downs, I cross my sword to heaven. This book is a traditional fantasy text, without any system or check.in, returning to the original passion and emotion. Chapter 1. Innate sword body. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the night of the 95th year of the Chu King's calendar, a huge firetail meteor suddenly flashed over the night state of the Great Chu, accompanied by the sound of a clanging sword. It could be seen from thousands of miles across the land of the night state. Countless people were shocked and curious about what it was. There is a powerful detective who tries to find out, but is crushed by the terrifying sword energy. Some unwilling individuals attempt to forcefully intercept, but die in the night sky. At this point, no one dared to peep at the firetail meteor anymore, and could only watch it fall into the east of the night state, which was the direction of the Night King's mansion. At the moment when the firelight of the meteor and the sound of the sword disappeared, a cry of a baby came from the Night King's mansion in the night state of Great Chu. "Born! Born! It's a young master," exclaimed the midwife in surprise. The anxiety and unease on the man's face outside finally turned into a relieved joy. It was the renowned master of the Night King's mansion, Night King Yezishio. However, before he could enter the room, a sudden figure pushed open the door. Yezishio was about to get angry, but he saw the person's appearance clearly and couldn't help but be surprised. Ancestor. As is well known, the ancestor of the Yi family entered the back mountain seclusion 10 years ago. I don't know why he suddenly left the seclusion tonight. Yi Tianling, the ancestor of the Yi family, saw the crying baby with just one glance, without any movement. The baby had already fallen from the hands of the midwife into his hands. Ancestor. The weak Yi Yu clan struggled to get up despite her physical weakness. At the same time, Yi Zixio also broke into the house and saw Yi Tianling with a face full of anticipation. He couldn't help but ask, "Ancestor, why are you?" At the next moment, the baby in Yi Tianling's hand suddenly erupted with a soaring sword intent. Even with Yi Tianling's protection, the room still exploded in an instant. The terrifying sword surged into the sky, circling and wreaking havoc over the Night King's mansion. Countless Night family members were captured by it, creating an irresistible force. Fortunately, the sword's intent came and went quickly, almost in the blink of an eye. Everything returned to normal, but the Night Prince's mansion was like a hurricane passing through, ravaged in an unrecognizable state. However, with the protection of Yi Tianling, the original few people in the room were not injured. "Grandfather, this child." Yi Zixio was stunned. Yi Tianling suppressed the churning qi and blood in his body, glanced at Yi Yushi who was also shocked, and said calmly, "I have taken this child with me, Zixio. I will announce to the world tomorrow that the son of my Yi family's destiny is now here. His name is Yi Ju. Son of Destiny." More than 1,000 years ago, when the Great Chu was founded, it was stipulated that if the 8 kings of Great Chu wanted to earn a seat, they needed to establish a son of fate. This is an extremely prestigious title and also an extremely dangerous identity. In the past, countless sons of fate died young due to this status. Yi Zixio and Yi Yushi were shocked in their eyes, but Yi Tianling had already disappeared into the night with the newly appointed Tianming son of the Yi family. The next day, Yi Zixio followed Yi Tianling's instructions and announced to the world the news of the re-establishment of the Tianming son, who had been missing from the Yi family for nearly 20 years. The news is spreading, and the Chu is alarmed. Countless envoys from the 7 kings and other large families went to the Night Prince's mansion to witness the newly appointed son of the Night family, and even the Chu emperor sent people to see the style of the Night family's son, but they were all rejected. Due to the reputation of the Night family's ancestors, each with their own thoughts had to retreat. The appearance of the son of the Night family's destiny undoubtedly disrupted the world of Great Chu, but due to the fact that this son of destiny never appeared, even the Night family mostly did not meet, and the turmoil gradually subsided. For such a decade, time flies like a white horse. The back mountain of the Yi family is the most mysterious place of the Yi family, and it is also a restricted area that is not allowed to enter, because the Yi family's ancestors are closed about it. At this moment, there were an old and a young man in the back mountain of the Yi family. The old man had silver hair but was spirited. He sat on the ground with a smile in his eyes. On the empty space in front of the old man, a slightly immature young man was wielding a sword and dancing, chopping or picking. Although his small body was disproportionate to the sword in his hand, his movements contained infinite charm. Sword-style running, the 100-jean waterfall ahead is divided into two paths by its sword intent, revealing its downhill rocks. It takes a long time for it to slowly recover, flying and roaring. The old man laughed heartily and couldn't hide his amazement in his eyes. It's truly an innate sword body. Ju Air, I can't believe that you could use the 13 styles of the Extreme Emperor passed down by our Yi family in just 3 months. Your ancestors have shown up. The young man gave a faint smile, but did not show any arrogance. It's all thanks to the guidance of our ancestors. These two people are naturally Yi Tianling, the ancestor of the Yi family, and Yi Ju, who was born that night and was called the Son of Fate. That night, Yi Tianling closed down on the back mountain, but suddenly sensed a shocking vision. In shock, he quickly withdrew from the closed door and followed the vision, only to see that his granddaughter was a nocturnal child. He speculated that this son must have inherited the fortune of the heavens, so he took action to protect him. Sure enough, after the birth of the baby, there was a soaring sword intent, and Yi Tianling was pleasantly surprised. He immediately brought it back to the back mountain to personally raise it. Unlike ordinary babies, this child is exceptionally precocious and has exceptional talent, especially in the field of swordsmanship. He is quick to understand and has extraordinary intelligence. In the memory of Yi Tianling for 300 years, he has never seen anyone comparable to his great-grandson. After flipping through a large number of ancient books, Yi Tianling finally confirmed that his great-grandson was actually a rare innate sword body. Innate sword body, supreme sword. In such 10 years, Yi Tianling, who has lived for 300 years, surprisingly has no trace to teach. Ju Air, you can leave tomorrow. Yi Tianling sighed with emotion, whether it was loneliness or satisfaction in his eyes. Obey me. Yi Ju's face was calm, but his heart was also somewhat excited. Since birth, I have lived with my ancestors in this back mountain. Although it is vast and beautiful, it is also too plain and boring. Now that I can finally pass, I am naturally delighted. But before leaving the border, my ancestor still has a few words to say to you. Yi Tianling sat with a serious expression on his face. The path of cultivation is always to go against the sky. Even if you take a step back, you will be constrained by it in the future until you find it difficult to move forward. Therefore, I want you to never back down no matter what you encounter. As the saying goes, just passing is easy to break, but you are different. You are the sharpest sword in this world, and no matter what you encounter, you will be cut off with one sword. Have you written it down? Yi Ju's face was solemn as he knelt down and kowtowed. I have taken note. Yi Tianling's face relaxed and he felt happy from the bottom of his heart. Alright, pack up and tidy up. Remember to tell my grandson and granddaughter. In law after leaving the border that it was the old man who didn't respect them and hindered the happiness of the family. As he said, Yi Tianling couldn't help feeling a bit lonely. Yi was determined to say something, but Yi Tianling had already walked into the mountainside and was about to finish his life. Yes, my grandson has taken note. Do you also deserve Chapter 2? You are listening at novelfull.audio. You must leave the level at night. This news quickly spread throughout the Night Prince's mansion, attracting countless people to look forward to it. He was appointed as the Son of Destiny by his ancestors and personally taught for 10 years. What is his outstanding ability? But there are also people sneering. The Son of Fate. Even this little doll is worth it. A tall young man sneered. Brother Chong, give him a good look tomorrow. Let this kid know who the first young generation of the Yi family is. Someone applauded. Don't worry, I believe those guys must have already been dissatisfied. The tall boy's eyes became deep. Yes, Brother Chong has great ideas. The departure of Yi Ju caused a shock in the Yi Wang mansion, and countless people were busy preparing to welcome this newly appointed young prince. Of course, Yi did not leave the customs on the noon of the celebration prepared by the Night Prince's mansion. He couldn't help but sneak out the next morning and went to see his own parents as soon as possible. Ju heir. Yi Yu held Yi Ju tightly in her arms and shed 2 lines of clear tears excitedly. Mother. Yi Ju also had a slightly sore nose, just a short distance away, but she gave birth to a mother and son who had been separated for 10 years. Yi Zixio stood on the side, his eyes filled with satisfaction. Yes, I'm all fooled. Jure, go see your dad. Yi Yu remembered that her husband was also on the side. After wiping a few tears, she quickly let go of Yi Ju and let him go to see Yi Zi. Yi Ju obediently came to Yi Zixio's face and knelt down to bow. Have you met father? Yi Zi, who has passed middle age, is immediately moved by his cultivation. Okay. Get up quickly. Yi Zixio clumsily helped up his son, and at this moment, the renowned Night King of Chu was just a father who missed his son. After meeting his parents, Yi Ju went to the yard that had been prepared for him for 10 years. Are you the little prince? Outside the courtyard, there was a maid staring at Yi Ju with her beautiful black eyes, full of curiosity and scrutiny. The maid looks larger than Yi Ju and is 1 head taller than Yi Ju. She is wearing a fitted green dress and her already developed body is beginning to look quite perky. How come? Does anyone dare to impersonate me? Some people are born extraordinary. However, at the age of 10, Yi Ju restrained the maid with just 1 sentence, causing her more restrained gaze to change to obedience. You're joking. Let me show you the yard. The maid's delicate face changed into a gentle smile and walked ahead to lead the way. What's your name? Just call your servant Qing'er, the crown prince. Although no one has lived in the garden for 10 years, everything in the garden is as new as ever, except that the willows are even more lush. At noon, the Night Prince's mansion held a banquet to celebrate the departure of the Son of Destiny. Except for a few people outside and in seclusion, all members of the Night Prince's mansion attended to witness the succession of Yi Ju, the Son of Fate. The old butler had a joyful expression on his face as he read out a decree that had already been written. Therefore, Night Decision was born at a time when my family was in distress, and it was favored by my ancestors. It should be my current destiny. Before the old butler could finish speaking, suddenly a voice came from the audience. I disagree. As soon as these words were spoken, they were like a rock-shattering shock. All the members of the Yi family's faces changed greatly, and their gaze turned towards a young man in red. This young man's name is Yi Su, and he is the 3rd son of Yi Ziming, the 2nd brother of Yi Zixio. Bastard, what are you talking about? If you don't give it to me, take back your words quickly. Yi Ziming angrily said. Uncle San, my nephew has something to say. Yi Su didn't see his father, but looked straight at Yi Zixio. My dear nephew, but it doesn't matter, Yi Zi said with a faint expression, the so-called Son of Destiny should be the one who earns honor for our Yi family. My nephew believes that if he is the Son of Destiny, he should not be easily awarded based on his background or someone's favor. Only with strength can he subdue others. After speaking these words, several young girls immediately agreed. It was the younger generation of the Yi family, while the older generation of the Yi family were all very angry. After all, the son of Yi Ju's destiny was appointed by the Yi family's ancestors. Yi Su is 20.4 years old this year, under the tutelage of Venerable Blinds. He has undergone many years of training on the Northwest battlefield and has developed a killing and attacking aura. Nowadays, Yi Su's strength is at the peak of the second realm, and he can break through the third realm at any time. He also has a place in the fiercely competitive young generation of the Yi family. Yi Zi's cultivation was a bit difficult because he could see that although his son had a bad luck, he was still too young to enter the country. How could he possibly be a rival of Yi Su who had been practicing for many years? Seeing Ye Zishou's hesitation, several young girls became even more agitated, and the scene immediately lost control. Yi Su was pleased in his eyes, but he said, "I know that the third uncle had to make Yi Ju's cousin the son of the heavenly mandate due to the orders of his ancestors. However, my ancestors have been silent on the affairs of the Yi family for many years, and it is inevitable that there will be mistakes in decision-making. Moreover, this son of the heavenly mandate is related to the future fate of our Yi family. We should consider it a decision that is both cautious and cautious. We should follow the opinions of many elders in the family before making a decision. Otherwise, how can we obey the crowd?" Seeing Yi Zishou's face turn ugly, Yi Su couldn't hide the smile in his eyes and said, "Or rather, Sanbo believes that Yi Ju's cousin has amazing martial arts that can subdue the crowd." As soon as these words were spoken, several disciples of the Yi family who followed Yi Su burst into laughter, because everyone knew it was a joke. Yi Zishou's face was extremely ugly when he was publicly scolded by the younger generation for almost stealing the white light. However, Yi Su's words were not unreasonable, let alone the fact that this was clearly a dispute among the younger generation. In reality, it was his second brother's faction that looked down on him, which made him angry and had nowhere to go. Qing'er, who was standing next to Yi Ju, couldn't bear to see Yi Su's arrogant demeanor. She whispered angrily, "This guy is really annoying. Crown Prince, you don't know, this guy." Then, Qing'er began to chatter about the nightlife. Yi Ju coldly watched the struggle between the two factions of the Yi family. Ultimately, it was the ancestor of the Yi family who broke the rules, but the consequences were borne by Yi Zishou. As the people behind Yi Su gradually put pressure on Yi Zishou, a smile of success appeared on their faces. As the situation in the field progressed towards Yi Zishou's compromise, Yi Ju chuckled lightly. "Are you going to be the son of fate?" Yi Ju's voice was not loud, but it made the entire courtyard quiet, and his gaze focused on the 10-year-old boy. "Yi Ju cousin. What did you say earlier?" Yi Su smiled, his eyes full of playfulness. "I said," Yi Ju replied with a smile. "Do you deserve to be such a useless person?" The crowd roared, and the playfulness in Yi Su's eyes turned into rage. Chapter 3. Swordsmanship Roar. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It seems that Yi Ju's cousin thinks he has the ability to defeat all the younger generation of the Yi family and sit in the position of this destined son. Yi Su was furious in his heart, but he didn't forget to dig a pit for this young cousin. Yi Ju naturally recognized Yi Su's words, but what fear did he have? "As you said, I want to be the son of the Knight family's destiny, anyone can challenge me at any time. Especially you useless, I will give you 3 opportunities to challenge, as long as you dare." Arrogant. At this moment, all the Knight family members had only one word in their hearts. They looked at this 10-year-old boy, as if trying to see where this little guy came from with his arrogance. Dare to call the peak of the 2 realms of Knight Su a waste. Still claiming to accept the challenge from everyone in the Knight family. Yi Su's deep city mansion also immediately broke through some defenses. His fingers clenched with a creaking sound, and his handsome face was also deformed with anger. He gritted his teeth and forced a smile, saying, "It seems that Yi Ju's cousin is very arrogant. But do you know that arrogance requires capital, otherwise it's not just embarrassing. Stop talking nonsense, pick a place, or maybe it's right here." Yi Ju seemed to not understand the warning in Yi Su's words, still shouting arrogantly. "Sanbo, this is Yi Ju's cousin inviting me to fight on his own. You can see clearly, it's not that I bullied him." Yi Su couldn't contain his killing intent, but he still said to Yi Zishou, Yi Zixio was a bit surprised. He didn't understand how things had progressed to this point. A 10-year-old boy invited a strong opponent at the peak of the second realm to fight. Is this losing heart and going crazy? Is it because of 10 years of confinement that my son's mind has gone crazy? Father, the Son of Destiny was ordered by our ancestors and must be fought for by ourselves, not by anyone. Seeing the doubt in Yi Zixio's eyes, Yi Ju spoke up, completely cutting off the possibility of Yi Zixio salvaging this confrontation. Yezi Shiochi wanted to curse, but it was too late. After the duel was settled, the Yi Ziming faction was about to burst into laughter, while the Yi Zixio faction was worried. However, no matter what, this duel could not be avoided. On the temporary duel ground, the successful Knight Su couldn't hide his smile. I don't know what level of cultivation my cousin has. No entry, Yi Ju said calmly. No entry, haha. Someone couldn't help but laugh. Yi Su was also holding back his smile. Since that's the case, I'll have an empty-hand competition with you, so that you can know where the cultivator's terror lies. But don't worry, cousin, I will show mercy. I promise not to kill you. Yi Ju's expression remained unchanged. Yi Su sneered in his heart. Pretend, then pretend. I want to see how you pretend when you're beaten to death later. So cousin, I'm going to take action. Yi Su smiled as his words fell, and his figure moved, like a ghost. Yi Zixio and others immediately felt a tightness in their hearts. Yi Su spoke of mercy, but this body technique was at least a 4th-level skill. Can this kid withstand Yi Su's blow? Yi Su's figure was shapely, and his big hands rushed straight towards Yi Ju's face. It seemed that this first move was about to save the face of this ignorant kid. Combined with the peak strength of the Knight Su 2 realms, this slap may not be enough to inflict a serious injury in the night battle. Everyone felt extremely nervous as they watched, secretly sweating for Yi Ju. Seeing that Yi Su's big hand was about to slap Yi Ju's face, but at this moment, Yi Ju took a dangerous step back, causing Yi Su's vicious blow to fall into the air. Not only that, but Yi Ju, who retreated to avoid the attack, also swung a round palm and fiercely drew forward. At this moment, Yi Su was still running forward, only able to see this slap with the sound of breaking the wind strike his face. Pa! A crisp voice came, and soon everyone saw that Yi Su, who was supposed to humiliate Yi Ju, had flown backwards and rolled on the ground for a few laps, causing his right cheek to swell up high. Everyone was dumbfounded. Who is this to educate? What a great young prince! Qing'er couldn't help but exclaim with joy. After being fiercely glared at by Yi Ziming, she shrank her neck and hid in the shadow of Yi Zixio. Yi Zixio also regained his composure and exclaimed that he was truly the son of an unlucky fortune. He thought that Yi, who had not yet entered the country, should not be a match for Yi Su, but he did not expect Fong to make the other party suffer a big loss with just one move, causing both embarrassment and embarrassment. It's really enjoyable. You better use your weapon, otherwise you won't have a chance, Yi Ju said calmly. Yi Su was slapped in the face by a 10-year-old boy in public, losing face. He was still mocked by the boy's words, and his anger and killing intent could no longer be restrained. With a roar, a carp stood up and pulled out its sword from its storage bag, heading straight towards Yi Ju like wind and thunder. Little rabbit, I'll kill you. The terrifying red spiritual power wrapped around Yi Su's body, and at this moment, everyone felt a bit dazed, as if they had seen a bloodthirsty warrior charging on the battlefield. Not good. This is Yi Su's famous move of Blood Thunder Kill, which is also his most terrifying form of killing enemies. This blow will definitely cause someone to fall. Someone turned pale and exclaimed in panic. Stop it. Yi Zixio was alert enough. He flew over to stop Yi Su, but couldn't catch up due to the distance. The crowd outside the venue was also in chaos. Unexpectedly, Yi Su's eyes turned red and he used such a terrifying killing technique. But like Yi Zixio, others cannot stop Yi Su because of distance. However, unlike the panic and nervousness of the crowd outside the venue, the knight decisive on the field is incredibly calm. He does not have spiritual power, but he has stronger sword intent and the supreme secret technique of the knight family, the 13 forms of the extreme emperor. Ji Huang's first move. Riding the wind and chasing the dragon. The sword howls, the dragons sing and the phoenixes sing. The members of the Yi family were stunned, unaware of what had happened, but Yi Zixio, Yi Ziming, and others knew it because it was a secret technique that only a very small number of people in the Yi family could practice, and it was also a terrifying move that was extremely difficult to master. Without decades of hard practice, it was impossible to achieve it. However, they did not expect it to appear on a 10-year-old boy at this moment. Yi Su, who had unleashed the blood thunder kill, had lost most of his rationality and only had the command to kill the target. However, under the terrifying sword intent, it was Sheng Sheng who scared him back to his rationality. How could this kid have such a terrifying sword intent? Yi Su shouted in his heart. The originally terrifying blood thunder killing is now like a flat boat, crashing into the surging sword like frenzy. The suicide attack passed away in the blink of an eye, and Yi Su, whose cheeks were high and swollen, knelt down on the ground with lifeless eyes and only half of the severed sword in his hand. Yi Ju stood in front of Yi Su, holding the other half of the broken sword between his two fingers. I heard that this sword was given to you by your master and has been with you for 12 years. Now that I have broken it, if you want to wash away this shame, come to me anytime and I will give you 2 chances. The young man's unassuming words fell and slowly scanned all the knight family members outside the venue. Under the terrifying sword intent, no one dared to look at them. The gentle breeze blows, the young man's clothes dance, and the invisible sword roar, as if a sword immortal has descended. People sigh softly in their hearts, 300 years have passed, and another sword immortal from the Yi family has emerged, and he is only 10 years old. Chapter 4. Miscellaneous Markets. You are listening at novelfull.audio. With the scene of violently beating Yi Su, the son of destiny of Yi Ju seemed to have fewer obstacles. In a courtyard of the Night Prince's mansion, a tall young man sneered and said, "My younger brother is really a waste. He was slapped by a non-immigrant and even had his master's sword broken. It's really embarrassing to throw him home. Brother Chong is right." Yes, if it were Brother Chong playing at that time, the little doll would definitely not be able to hold up a move. Someone immediately agreed. The smile on the face of the tall young man deepened. This person's name is Yi Chong, and he is the son of Yi Ziming and also Yi Su's brother. The two of them often have conflicts. However, the strength of that little doll is not so unbearable. Under the sword intent, even I have to take it seriously. Yi Chong's face suddenly became somewhat solemn. If you ask me, it's because our ancestors were biased. There are so many Tianjiao in the mansion, why did they give their sword intentions to the newborn little doll? Is it because he is the son of Yi Zixio? One person said angrily, and this person's name is Yi He, a branch of the younger generation. Be cautious. Yi Chong frowned and then continued, although everyone knows this matter from heart to heart, don't speak too much outside, otherwise the family rules will not be visible. Remember. Yi and his face turned slightly pale, reluctantly agreeing with a smile. In no time, the conversation shifted to something else, and the atmosphere became relaxed and happy again. At this time, most people in the Night King's mansion, like Yi Chong and others, believed that the terrifying sword intent possessed by a 10-year-old boy who did not enter the country should be gifted by the Knight family ancestor. It was precisely because of this sword intent that they defeated the peak of the 2 realms, Yi Su. As for the 13 styles of the Extreme Emperor, many people were unaware of its existence. However, not everyone is unaware, at least Yi Zixio knows the existence of the 13 forms of the Extreme Emperor, because he also practices. Do you know what's wrong? Yi Zixio said with a stern expression, and in front of him was Yi Ju. What's wrong with a child? Yi Ju looked surprised. At a young age, who has never even entered the country but dares to challenge the peak of the second realm, dare you say it's right? Yi Zixio scolded. But I won, Yi couldn't help but wonder. Yi Zixio choked and couldn't speak, but for a moment, he laughed again and paused before continuing, that sword was gifted to you by your ancestors, right? Why is it so wasteful? Although he witnessed the vision at the time of Yi Ju's birth, Yi Zixio still believed that there was a strange treasure at work. The child made it himself, Yi Ju said honestly. Nonsense. Yi Zi frowned, I have been practicing for decades and I dare not say that I have such a sharp sword intent. With you, a 10-year-old doll. Yi Ju was too lazy to argue. Seeing Yi Ju not speaking, Yi Zixio also knew that although what Yi Ju did was dangerous, it ultimately saved the situation and he no longer hesitated. Instead, he asked, did your ancestor pass on the 13 styles of the Extreme Emperor? Yes, Yi Ju answered decisively. How many moves have you reached? If it's before the 8th move, Father can give you some guidance. Yi Zixio smiled and said. Yi Ju secretly slandered himself. I have completed all 13 moves, but I am afraid it will stimulate my father. He casually said, if you have any leisure time, please ask my father for guidance. Yi Zixio felt comfortable. After listening to Yi Zixio chatter a few more words, Yi Ju insisted that he was not familiar with the environment in the mansion yet, and then he got away. In no time, Yi Ju found Qing'er. Crown Prince, do you want to buy body-quenching liquid? Our mansion has complete supplies, and we have the best true 5 spirits body-quenching liquid sent from the northwest. Qing'er looked puzzled. Yi Ju naturally didn't really want to buy any Lashizi body-quenching liquid, but just wanted to find an excuse to sneak out and play. No. What I'm looking for is a truly better quenching fluid. Yi Ju smiled meaningfully at the corner of his mouth. Qing'er was also clever and reacted, so, young master, you're going out to play. Don't speak up. Yi Ju quickly made a gesture of silence, and Qing'er quickly covered her small mouth, revealing 2 eyes that smiled like crescent moon. So, Yi Ju, who didn't want to be entangled in the tears of his mother, took his close maid and the 2 of them slipped out of the royal mansion. The city where the Night King's mansion is located is called the Night King City, which was the birthplace of the Night King's lineage in the past. The Night King City is divided into 4 major urban areas. The Night King Mansion is located in the Dongqing district, and there is no one comparable to the Night King Mansion in the Dongqing district. However, the Xiqing district is not necessarily the same, as the residence of the Zhenyuan Grand General is located in the Xiqing district. The southern and northern cities are mostly dominated by merchants and underground gangs, making them the most prosperous. Compared to the urban areas where the 2 hegemons exist, there is more looseness, so various industries are relatively developed, with a wide range of education. According to Qing'er, Yi Ju arrived at Beiqing, but he did not choose the big shops with golden signboards. Instead, he plunged into a relatively chaotic market. Zashi is a long street lined with merchants selling goods. Most of these merchants are casual guests, and there are also a few professional merchants. Their goods are all in a mess, and as long as they comply with the laws of the Great Chu, they can be sold here. However, many of the items sold in the mixed market are scams, and many people who come here have a mentality of picking up leaks, which is known as searching for gold in the market. In front of a crowded booth, the master and servant of Yi Ju stopped, and a faint sword intent emanated from their bodies. Yi Ju and his servant easily squeezed to the front. At this moment, gambling stones are being played in front of the booth. On the clean black cloth, there were more than 10 stones of various sizes and shapes. The man in yellow frowned and picked them around, constantly using his hands and eyes to choose. Behind the stall was a thin man who boasted that his stones contained real treasures, which he had painstakingly dug from some ancient relic. The crowd watching the play also started to coax, causing the man in yellow to scratch his ears and cheeks even more. He picked several and put them back. After picking and choosing, the man in yellow ultimately chose a stone that looked good. "Sir, have you chosen it well?" the skinny man asked with a warm smile. After several hesitations, the man in yellow nodded fiercely. "Damn it!" The skinny man immediately picked up the stone with diligence. Under everyone's tense attention, the thin man's specialized small file gradually scraped off the surface of the stone, gradually revealing a touch of gold, vaguely revealing an antique box. At the same time, a strong medicinal fragrance emanated. Everyone was shocked. Did this man in yellow really hit his luck and come up with an ancient pill? The man in yellow was even more breathing rapidly, and a wild smile with bright red eyes about to bloom froze on his lips. Chapter 5. A Thread of Sword Chi. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The thin man continued to file with his hand, and the stones fell off, revealing large golden patterns. It was truly an antique pill box, with a fragrant aroma. The man in yellow finally burst into a wild smile at the corner of his mouth and snatched it away. "Ha! Our ancestors have shown up, I'm going to get rich." He tightly hugged the half-open stone, his expression wild. The thoughts of the onlookers also became active: envy, jealousy, greed, and so on. Only Yi Ju's expression was faint, and he shook his head slightly. Qing'er looked curiously and said, "Young master, did you see something?" Yi Ju whispered, "It's empty inside." His voice was not loud and was drowned in the noise around him. Qing'er was surprised, but she didn't ask. "Brother, cut open the stone completely so that the big guy can have an eye," someone urged urgently. "That's right." The man in yellow immediately became somewhat cautious, as it was common knowledge that yellow and white objects should not be exposed, let alone such treasures. Seeing the expression on the man in yellow, some people sneered, "Don't be too happy too early. What if this is just an empty box with nothing inside?" This statement also drew a lot of agreement. The man in yellow was a bit angry, but there were too many onlookers around him. At first, the person didn't know where he was. As he watched the people around him getting more and more noisy, he didn't want to give a result. He was afraid he couldn't get away, so he reluctantly handed the half-open stone in his arms to the skinny man. "Open up. I want to see if it's empty inside," he gritted his teeth. "Damn it." The skinny man picked it up. The subsequent process was very smooth, except for the yellow-clothed man who repeatedly reminded the skinny man to be careful not to damage his treasure. Watching a square and simple golden small box emerge from the stone, people's emotions were also aroused, and a pair of eyes were fixed on the small box. The man in yellow grabbed the small box, which lay firmly in his palm. He swallowed his saliva and slowly opened it, trembling slightly. Everyone was like the man, their eyes seemed to stick to the box, and their heartbeat quickened. The next moment, the box opens. Amidst the diverse gazes of everyone, the box was indeed empty. Sigh. Everyone unconsciously sighed. The man in yellow clothes was even more foolish, unable to recover for a while. Some of the onlookers sneered, while others had serious eyes, but they turned from the prince's body to the lean man's booth, where there were still several more. Having seen enough of the bustling night, Qing'er quickly followed behind and squeezed out the crowd. "Young master, you are really amazing. How did you know it was empty inside?" Qing'er, with a pair of beautiful stars, looked at Yi Ju with utmost admiration. Yi Ju chuckled lightly and met Qing'er's starry eyes. "Secret." Qing'er hesitated for a moment, her jade-like cheeks bulging high. "What's going on?" "Being stingy." Wu Zixing felt suffocated for a while, but when she regained her senses, Yi Ju had already walked away. She stomped her jade feet in anger and quickly chased after her. "Young master, I have one more thing that I don't understand. Why do people have a special fondness for gambling stones?" Qing'er asked curiously. Along the way, besides the previous stall, the two of them saw several similar ones, each of which was crowded with people. With a small and broad greed, curiosity towards the unknown, and a hint of blind confidence. Chinger's beautiful eyes flickered with an imperceptible expression. "Young master, you're so amazing. I don't even know about these things. So I am the young master, and you are the maid." Yi Ju chuckled lightly. The two of them wandered around in the mixed market and turned into a small alley. After about 3 breaths, a slightly anxious face appeared in the dim alley, coinciding with Chinger's curious gaze and Yi Ju's cold and sharp gaze. "Tell me your purpose, I'll spare you for not dying." A voice as cold as iron came through. The young man's face showed helplessness as he raised his hands and said, "Young master, I really misunderstood you." In the small tea house on the street, 3 people sat opposite each other, one of whom looked like a young man with a helpless smile on his face, explaining something. Across the table were a pair of young girls. The older girl had a curious expression, while the slightly immature boy had a calm expression. It was the night master and servant and the strange young man who was following them. "So, Mr. Fong Yu has taken a liking to my young master's good eyesight and wants to make a deal with us." Chinger, who had listened to the young man's explanation, said. "That's right." Fong Yu said with a smile. "I wonder what treasure Mr. Fong Yu wants to sell to my young master." Chinger was aroused with curiosity. Fong Yu glanced at Yi Ju, who remained silent, hesitated for a moment before taking out a small gray wooden box from his arms. "It's exactly this thing." Fong Yu spoke seriously and exerted a slight force on his hand, indicating his inner restlessness. Chinger naturally couldn't see anything mysterious, so she had to look at Yeju, only to see a hint of interest in Yeju's eyes. Seeing the changes in the night resolution, Fong Yu's suspended heart finally fell back and a smile appeared on his face again. "What do you think of this thing, young master? What do you want?" Yi Ju took a sip of tea. Fong Yu, who was originally prepared to boast all over, was choked by Yi Ju for a moment before his smile became even brighter. "I don't want anything yellow or white, just one thing. A coral jade is right in the current genie Fong, and you can naturally recognize it when you go, young master." "Okay." Yi Ju hesitated for a moment without even asking about the value of coral jade. "Cheer up." Fong Yu laughed and pushed the gray wooden box forward in his hand. "So, please ask the young master to buy the coral jade and order someone to deliver it to the Uli Inn." For Fong Yu's behavior, Yi Ju was taken aback for a moment, and immediately showed a smile, without any affectation. He took the gray wooden box and said, "Good, again." Chinger wondered, "Mr. Fong Yu is not afraid that we won't fulfill the contract if we take something." "Miss, you're joking. If the people of the Yi family are greedy for things like Fong, how can they be called the 8 famous families of the Great Chu?" Fong Yu was confident. "How did Mr. Fong Yu know that we were members of the Night family?" Chinger became even more curious. "It seems like we, who have no cultivation, rely on a pair of eyes when going out. The girl looks down on us and other people in the martial arts world too much." Fong Yu shook his head and smiled. After chatting a few more words, it was evident that Yi was not a talkative person, and Fong Yu did not disturb him much. He bid farewell quickly. After leaving the tea house, Fong Yu's figure had long disappeared. "Young master, what is inside the wooden box provided by Fong Yu?" Chinger asked curiously. "A wisp of sword energy." Chapter 6. Red Shark King. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Jiniafang is a not small shop in the city. Although it is not one of those centuries-old golden signboards, it is also thriving with a large number of customers. Fong Yu was not wrong. After Yi Ju entered the store, he saw the coral jade at a glance. It was really eye-catching. Upon seeing the impressive appearance of Yi Ju, a shop assistant immediately walked up enthusiastically. "This young master, but what do you like about the store?" Yi Ju pointed to the most prominent position in the center of the hall and said, "I'll take it." The expression on the buddy's face became even more enthusiastic. "Young master, you have good eyesight. This coral jade comes from the distant eastern Zhe kingdom, which is said to be." The waiter was about to boast again, and Qing'er had already handed a waist tag up, blocking the waiter's mouth. The guy immediately widened his eyes and hurriedly grabbed the waist token with both hands, just because of the big, knight, character on the token. "Tomorrow, someone will come to retrieve this item." Leaving a sentence, Yi Ju and Qing'er turned around and left Jinifang, leaving only the respectful gaze of the store staff to bid them farewell. Yes. The Night King city has a vast territory, and the people living there are not only the two dominant families, the Wild Prince's mansion and the Zhenyuan General's mansion, but also controlled by various families and forces. Among them, there is an underground gang called the Black Shark Gang. The Black Shark Gang is located in the North City and mainly relies on the docks and markets around the Night King city to operate. It is the largest underground gang in the South City. Guild leader Zhao Qiu, a soul-cutting sword that has been stained with countless blood, is awe-inspiring in the Green Forest, and is known as the Black Shark King by the Taoist. Deputy gang leader Lu Ji, skilled in using a shark-patterned sword and fighting for decades, is an executioner who crawled out of the sea of corpses and blood, nicknamed the Red Shark King. In addition to the two ruthless and highly cultivated leaders of the Black Shark Gang, there are no less than 100 members with cultivation in their ranks. Among them, the experts above the second realm make up a whopping 20, serving as the helm leaders and overwhelming the other underground gangs, making them the leading brothers. However, these powerful gang members are usually scattered in their own territory and not at the helm. But on the 8th day of June, which is tomorrow, it is the birthday of the deputy gang leader Lu Ji. In order to celebrate the second birthday of the Black Shark Gang, all members of the Black Shark Gang came from all over, and the entire headquarters of the Black Shark Gang was immersed in a joyful atmosphere. Although his birthday was approaching, Lu Ji, the birthday star, did not entertain various gangsters at the headquarters. Instead, he personally went to a martial arts school in the North City to collect debts, which was a hard idea. Bullying people too much. "You guys collected money a few days ago, why are you here again today?" As he watched the disciples lying on the ground in pain and groaning, the martial arts school owner Zhou Deijian looked angry. "You also said, today was a few days ago, today is today." A pointed monkey-faced young man with a mustache on his mouth said happily. This person's name is Ho Lei, nicknamed Water Monkey. Although he looks unremarkable, the wounded lying on the ground are actually from his pen. His identity is one of the 20 branch leaders of the Black Shark Gang. How unreasonable. Are you breaking the rules? Zhou Deijian gritted his teeth. Rules. Oh, we are rules. Water Monkey sneered. That's it, then I'll use the sword in my hand and try the bullshit rules you're talking about. After all, Zhou Deijian is still a martial artist, and his least favorite thing is reasoning. Now that the Black Shark Gang is breaking the rules, he will do everything he can to kill this Water Monkey. He won't be able to appear in the Night King city from now on, but he can't bear to breathe such a sigh today. Zhou Deijian and Water Monkey belong to the same realm, but there are also strengths and weaknesses in the same realm. Water Monkey is in the early stage of the realm, but Zhou Deijian is in the middle stage of the realm. Seeing Zhou Deijian's desperate expression, Water Monkey rarely took it seriously. Although he was accustomed to life and death struggles, Zhou Deijian had the real ability to open the only martial arts school in the North City. Moreover, in terms of realm, the Water Monkey is even lower than Zhou Deijian, which makes the Water Monkey even more cautious. The two are deadlocked and about to go to war. At this moment, a tall figure walked in outside the martial arts school, and the sunlight fell on him, casting a large shadow that covered everything inside the school. Monkey, why has it been so long? Second Master, my tea has already cooled down, the person chuckled. The Water Monkey's expression became extremely respectful, I made second master laugh. Upon seeing the visitor's face, Zhou Deijian suddenly turned pale and said, Red Shark King. Oh, Master Zhou recognizes a certain family. For this reason, a certain family needs to leave a whole body for Master Zhou. The person who came was Lu Ji, the deputy leader of the Black Shark Gang. He shouldn't have come forward with such matters, but unfortunately, the idea was a bit tough. The water monkey was not easy to take it down on his own, and recently he was very thoughtful, so he followed along. However, despite this, the water monkey naturally cannot really let Lu Ji take action, but rather let him control the field when it is crucial. Seeing Lu Ji, who was dressed in a relaxed and freehand style, Zhou Deijian loosened his grip on the large sword in his hand, but after several attempts, he still couldn't calm the ups and downs in his heart. Vice Sect Leader Lu, are you all begging for food in the Night King City? Do you insist on dividing your lives? Furthermore, without looking at the monk's face or the Buddha's face, everyone looks up to the breathing life of the Night Prince's mansion. Can we leave a trace of affection? Zhou Deijian's words were split into two parts, but ultimately he still didn't want to really conflict with Lu Ji. But Zhou Deijian didn't expect that after he moved out of the Night Prince's mansion, Lu Ji's originally smiling expression suddenly became cold. Zhou Deijian, can you use a sword? I'll give you 2 moves. Without any warm words falling, the water monkey consciously avoided a bit. So, then no one can blame me. Seeing Lu Ji like this, Zhou Deijian knew that the situation was irreparable. With all his survival desires in his heart, he roared angrily and rushed forward with his big sword, directly striking Lu Ji's head. Zhou Deijian is truly a strong person who can open a martial arts school in the Night King City. His exaggerated height of 10 feet makes him look very oppressive, and his big sword in his hand is like a door panel, dancing with a lively and powerful vibe. Dong dong dong, he rushed forward like a restless giant ape, passing by martial arts school disciples who were torn apart under his sword. Rogue, take my sword. Zhou Deijian struck Huashan with great force, crushing Lu Ji into pieces with this sword. Lu Ji sneered and gently dodged Zhou Deijian's attack. Zhou Deijian had never intended to strike successfully, but as soon as Lu Ji dodged, he immediately changed his move from splitting to picking, intending to string Lu Ji onto his own big sword. Lu Ji turned sideways again and continued to evade Zhou Deijian's attack. Such a relaxed and freehand style, it seems like Lu Ji is deliberately teasing Zhou Deijian. I gave you 2 moves, don't worry, go to hell. The light and flowing words came, and Zhou Deijian felt a sense of fear in his heart. When he looked up, he saw a terrifying figure with a smile like that of a cannibal shark appearing in front of him. The person raised a strange weapon with shark tooth patterns and waved his hand to cut it off. Zhou Deijian quickly placed the thick sword like a door panel in front of him, but in the next moment, a terrifying force came, accompanied by intense pain, and a hint of blood stained his vision. At the same time, his consciousness also began to dissipate. In his gradually dilated pupils, Zhou Deijian saw his massive body and the door panel sword being cut in 2 by Xingsheng. Second Master, I heard that Jiniafang has brought a high-quality coral jade. Take a look. Water Monkey respectfully suggested. Lu Ji let out a gentle hum. The 2 of them left, with flames raging in the sky behind them. In the choking thick smoke, the gilded martial arts school sign fell down and quickly ignited. Chapter 7. 8 Realms. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Jinifang is still bustling with people and a steady stream of customers. The owner of the tea shop on the 2nd floor, Jin Shou, saw the good business of his family and the wrinkles around his eyes relaxed a lot. However, what made him most happy was that he successfully completed a deal with the Night Prince's mansion today. Unfortunately, when the nobles from the prince's mansion arrived that night, Jin Shou didn't even notice. By the time his assistant Zhao Quan came to see his shopkeeper in a panic, holding the waste token, Jin Shou was also startled and hurriedly went downstairs to find it. Unfortunately, the nobles from the prince's mansion had already disappeared into the crowd. Jin Shou was angry and blamed his assistant Zhao Quan for not being sensible. Why didn't he stop such a distinguished guest? Brother Zhao Quan was full of grievances. How did he know that the young man was actually from the Night Prince's mansion? Besides, they only come here to buy things, can they still drink tea in their own store? How dare I stop the nobleman from driving? However, Zhao Quan harbored resentment in his heart, but he naturally dared not speak up. After venting his anger, Jin Shou also understood that the nobles did not want to stay much, so Zhao Quan naturally could not stay. It was just a pity that he missed an opportunity to make friends with the nobles. After all, although Jin Yifang had good business, he was always unstable and could not compare to the real giants of the Night King city. However, it's not entirely without a chance. That night, the prince's mansion said they would send someone to pick it up tomorrow. As long as they operate well, they may leave a good impression on others. It's also possible to climb this big tree in the future. While drinking tea, Jin Shou was thinking about his own caution. At this moment, two figures appeared at the entrance of Jin Yifang. Some sharp-eyed guests were so frightened that they immediately hid to the side when they saw these two malevolent guests, while others who did not know quickly hid to the side when they saw other people's reactions or were informed by friends, afraid of touching their mold. The salesperson in the store immediately noticed the abnormality, and after seeing the visitor clearly, his heart trembled. He quickly put on a smile and welcomed him. "Welcome Mr. Liu and Lord Ho to our shop." Jin Shou's thoughts were immediately interrupted. He frowned and looked at the door, just in time to see Ho Lei with sharp lips and Lu Ji with a tall and gloomy face. Unconsciously, he pulled down his beard and stroked it. "You have died young. How did these two evil stars come?" Jin Shou naturally knows these two people, rather than the notorious members of the Black Shark Gang. There are very few people he doesn't know. "Gentlemen, please, please." Jin Shou quickly went downstairs and personally welcomed Lu Ji and Water Monkey in. "I don't know if the two gentlemen are here this time, but what instructions do you have?" Jin Shou cautiously accompanied his smiling face and asked. "Don't worry, Second Master is only here to buy your things." Lu Ji took a sip of tea and said. Yes, no matter what Second Master is interested in, the small shop will definitely offer it. I heard that you bought a high-quality coral jade in your store." Upon hearing these words, Jin Shou immediately wanted to say that he had sold it, but he saw the water monkey in the center of the hall picking off the coral jade and playing with it in his hand. The staff in the shop avoided it from afar and dared not come forward. Jin Shou's cold sweat immediately came down, and after some hesitation, he quickly explained, "Second Master, this piece of jade has already been reserved." Upon hearing these words, Lu Ji's smile did not change. "It doesn't matter, I'll give him double the amount he paid." The cold sweat on Jin Shou's face did not diminish. He said, "What's wrong? Is the shopkeeper facing difficulties?" Lu Ji smiled and looked at Jin Shou. Jin Shou was glanced at by Lu Ji's shark-like, bloodthirsty eyes, and felt his soul tremble. "Vice Leader Lu, this piece of jade is favored by the young master of the Night Prince's mansion, and they have already reserved it." Zhao Quanzhong boldly exclaimed. "Boss Jin, your buddy is a bit immature." Lu Ji's face became gloomy again, and he lightly slapped him. Zhao Quan flew out like a broken sack, smashing countless display cabinets one after another, leaving a series of blood staining the ground red. Jin Shou's chubby face turned pale with fear, trembling and unable to speak. The water monkey playfully pulled Zhao Quan, who had been half dead after being slapped by Lu Ji, out of a pile of broken crystal debris and dragged his hair all the way to Lu Ji, leaving behind a trail of crimson blood. Coral jade, already, reserved by the Night Prince's mansion. He spat blood in his mouth and couldn't even open his eyes, but Zhao Quan still spoke vaguely with his neck stuck. Jin Shou was so scared that he would wet his pants. He wished he could sew Zhao Quan's mouth, but at this moment, he dared not do anything. What did you say earlier? Lu Ji pulled Zhao Quan closer and asked with a smile. Night Prince's mansion, Zhao Quan was about to lose his breath, still speaking vaguely but firmly. "TSK, what a tough mouth." Lu Ji called out to the water monkey, "Monkey, tear off this kid's mouth and leave it behind, chop up the rest and feed it to the dog." "Yes, second master." The water monkey's eyes were filled with a bloodthirsty glare. "Since his mouth is so hard, let's stay and hang it at the entrance of the store for everyone to take a good look." Lu Ji stood up and looked at Jin Shou, who was scared to death. He chuckled lightly and said, "No problem, Mr. Jin." Jin Shou dares not say anything, shaking his head is not nodding. After a bloody scene, a bloody part of Zhao Quan was hung high on the gate of Jinifang, while Lu Ji and Water Monkey walked away with Coral Jade, leaving behind many frightened customers and Jin Shou lying on the ground. The mood of Yi Ju, who returned from Beiqing, was quite good. "Young master, do you think there's a wisp of sword energy in that box?" Qing'er couldn't help but wonder. Today, she sneaked out of the Wang mansion and Yi Ju took her around the northern city. Apart from Fang Yu's self-recommendation, she didn't buy anything else, which made her a bit puzzled. "Nature, do you want to see it?" Yi Ju took out the gray wooden box and placed it on the table. Qing'er really wants to see, she's not completely ignorant of cultivation, that's why she's curious. How does a strand of sword energy fit into a box? Seeing Qing'er's eager gaze, Yi Ju smiled and opened the wooden box, revealing the true appearance of the object inside. A crystal-clear crystal. Is this just a wisp of sword energy? Qing'er's cute little mouth grew big, and she couldn't help but reach out to touch the crystal, but was stopped by Yi Ju's words. "There is a trace of sword energy from at least the 8 realms powerhouse sealed inside, be careful." 8 realms. Qing'er was once again shocked beyond measure. The Night King was listed as the 8 kings of Great Chu, and his majesty was due to his terrifying and unparalleled strength in the 7 realms. Now, surprisingly, this crystal contains a trace of the sword energy of the 8 realms powerhouse. Chapter 8. Debt Repayment, Murder Repayment. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This crystal is called Yuanjing, which is a pure natural divine object used for sealing and sealing, explained Yi Ju. Qing'er came back to her senses from shock. After hearing Yi Ju's explanation, she blinked in confusion and then opened her mouth in shock again. Yuanjing. She once heard that there was an auction held in the Night King city, and the final highlight was a source crystal. The source crystal was finally sold for an incredible high price, so even Qing'er, who didn't understand cultivation, remembered it deeply in her heart, but couldn't expect to see it again now. Qing'er only felt that what she saw today was more shocking than what she had seen in the past decade or so. After a long pause, Qing'er continued to be curious and asked, "Young master, what do you want to do with this item?" Quenched body. Quenched body. Yes, Yejue requires sword energy to harden and advance, just because he is an innate sword body and that innate terrifying sword spirit. Arriving at the special stone chamber in the family, Yi Ju took out the source crystal that had sealed the sword energy of the 8 realms powerhouse. He was naked, with slightly slender muscle lines visible on his body. After some thought, Yi Ju crushed the source crystal. Suddenly, a terrifying sword energy resembling polar wind and snow ravaged the confined space. Even the stone walls that had been blessed with special secret techniques were instantly left with deep grooves by the sword energy. Looking at the night resolution of sitting in the center again, the sword energy struck him with a bang, leaving no white mark. If you look closely, you will find that when the sword energy is on your body, it is actually rebounded back, as if there is an invisible protective shield, and this is precisely the innate effect of the Night Determination sword body. Innate sword body, supreme of 10,000 swords. As early as the time of the Back Mountain, Yi Tianling was confident that he could train his extraordinary understanding of night decision to the 5th or even 6th realm. But later on, the two of them discovered a big mistake through their experiments. The innate sword body and the mortal body cannot be confused. The massive spiritual objects prepared by Yi Tianling, which were enough to impact the 5 realms, only laid a foundation for the night decision. Reading ancient books again, Yi Tianling sighed with emotion. It turned out that he had underestimated the power of the innate sword body too much. According to ancient texts, the innate sword body is one of the most terrifying constitutions in the world. The innate sword body, which has been cultivated to a great extent, can be used to kill the sun, moon, and stars with a raised hand. With such a terrifying physique, the path to advancement is naturally extremely difficult. At the beginning of the casting body stage, a super high level of sword energy is needed to sharpen and elevate the realm. With the terrifying cultivation of Yi Tianling, years of sword energy sharpening, Yi Ju is about to break through the mirror. So, this wisp of sword energy from the 8 realms powerhouse is just the last step towards the door. The massive spiritual energy transformed into a hurricane, coming from all directions towards the stone chamber closed by the Night Jew, and the exaggerated movements stunned the children of the Night family guarding the gate. After enduring for decades, everything returned to tranquility. In the stone chamber, Yi Ju opened his eyes, and the terrifying sword intent turned into substance, once again separating the already ravaged and shapeless stone chamber into 2 deep grooves. After a moment, the sword's intent calmed down, and the night resolution also returned to normal. At this point, he had truly stepped into a realm. I clenched my fist and felt the surging power inside my body, and Yi Ju couldn't help but grin. After returning to his own yard, he washed himself up and went to his parents' yard for dinner. During this time, he was inevitably attacked by his mother's tears and scolded by his father's cold face. An hour later, Yi Ju and Qin Er returned to their yard. Standing in the empty courtyard, under the moonlight like water, Yi Ju began practicing sword style. Yi Tianling is truly a powerhouse at the level of his ancestors. During his 300 years of life, he has learned a vast array of techniques, including over 20 sword techniques. From the most advanced 8th level secret technique, the 13th form of the Extreme Emperor, to the 1st level fire separation sword technique, all of which have been taught to Yi Ju. Since the age of 3, Yi Ju has been immersed day and night in the terrifying learning of Yi Tianling. He naturally knows all of these 20 or so sword techniques. However, he is unwilling to use the low level 1, and the high level 1 consumes too much. Therefore, he has chosen a sword technique to start practicing, which is the 4th level mountain breaking and sea covering move, consisting of 4 moves. Moonlight is desolate, sword energy is strong. Having a good night's sleep, it was only after midnight that I woke up at night. At the back of the mountain, Yi Tianling's requirements were very strict, so Yi Ju also developed the habit of getting up early. After washing up, it's time for early work. It was just after midnight. Qing'er carried the food box into the yard of Yejue and brought her breakfast, hot rice porridge and some delicious dishes. This is also the habit of Yejue. Young master, where are you going to search for body-quenching fluid today? Qing'er asked with a teasing smile as she packed her food box. It seems that yesterday's trip to Beijing has made this little girl a bit addicted. After all, this is a public tourism, led by the young master, and it's much more fun than everything that this mansion has long been used to. Yi Ju smiled and shook his head, naturally understanding what Qing'er meant. Send someone to Jiniafang to deliver the coral jade to the Uli Inn. Qing'er was a bit angry that Yi Ju ignored her own proposal, but she naturally treated things arranged by Yi Ju herself with caution. Chenshi had just passed, and it was already time. Yi Ju was studying in the courtyard when Qing'er, with a worried expression, pushed open the door and burst in, followed by a pale-looking servant. Young master, it's not good. Qing'er quickly shouted when she saw the nightfall. Yi Ju glanced at the two of them and put down the book in his hand. Speak slowly. For some reason, upon seeing Yi Ju's calm expression, Qing'er's restless mind also calmed down. She said to the servant following her, Zhang Xiu, for you. Zhang Xiu, the servant, swallowed his saliva before saying, it's Jinifang that's causing trouble. Then, Zhang Xiu truthfully reported everything she had just seen in Jinifang. After listening to Zhang Xiu's words, Qing'er gritted her teeth in hatred and her small face turned red with anger. What a arrogant bandit! What cruel means! After venting fiercely, Qing'er finally remembered that the protagonist had not spoken yet. She looked at Yi Ju and was not surprised to see a calm face. After thinking for a moment, she sighed and said, I heard before that the Black Shark Gang had a close relationship with the son of the general of Zhenyuan, and the general of Zhenyuan had gained the trust of the Chu emperor. He was really not a good target for my Night Prince's mansion to provoke. Qing'er peeked at Yi Ju again and tried to say, but this is just that they have gone too far. Why not inform the master and let him negotiate? What do you think? Yi Ju smiled and stood up, Zhang Xiu, lead the way. Young master, the Black Shark Gang can be said to be a dragon's den and tiger's den. You must not be impulsive. Qing'er said anxiously. Qing'er, you have to remember one thing. The smile on Yi Ju's face slowly disappeared and replaced it with the calm before the storm. Debt repayment, murder repayment. Chapter 9. Get out and die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. To celebrate the 50th birthday of the deputy gang leader, the Black Shark Gang invited guests extensively on this day, with prominent and prestigious items on the road included in the invitation. Approaching noon, the huge estate where the Black Shark Gang is located is crowded with people, and the air is filled with the aroma of delicious food and people's diverse conversations. Master Zhou is here. Boss Wu is here. One after another, the names of prominent figures were announced, and Zhao Chao's face smiled like a flower, which also made the other guests marvel at the tremendous energy of the Black Shark Gang. It was so impressive that so many big figures came to support the birthday of a deputy gang leader. The members of the Black Shark Gang warmly welcomed the guests who entered, and their faces couldn't help but surge with pride. The Black Shark Gang, including the main leader, Black Shark King Zhao Chou, were all entertaining guests, but Lu Ji, as the protagonist, did not appear and instead tidied up his appearance in the room. The most famous official in the Night King city, Sun Yishou, personally tidied up Lu Ji's beard and hair. Lu Ji sat on the Grand Tutor's chair, playing with a grand and ancient coral jade in his hand. The jade in Ye's hand is really beautiful. Sun praised with one hand, I don't know which hero in the gang is filial. You have a heart. Lu Ji sneered, where do those brats know these things? What they offer to me as filial piety is just some yellow and white weapons. It's so vulgar. Sun kept moving his hand and apologized with a smile. Ah, this is what I want to show filial piety to the prince. Lu Ji sighed and then spat again, sneering, that damn despicable embryo dares not appreciate it. It's dirty on my hands. Sun Yishou suddenly remembered what happened in a shop in Beijing yesterday, and his heart trembled. Is this the thing he snatched from the Yi family's hands? This matter has not actually spread, but Sun Yishou happened to go to the North City yesterday and personally witnessed two ferocious thugs committing murder and robbery. However, the Black Shark Gang is originally a group of pirates who kill without blinking an eye and make a living by killing and stealing goods. This kind of thing can only be said to be ordinary. Then there was a slight silence, and Sun dared not say much, while Lu Ji's attention was focused on the precious jade in his hand. Isn't there anything different? A piece of ordinary jade, I really don't know why Prince Wang wants these things. After playing with it for a while, Lu Ji threw the coral jade onto the table and said somewhat uninteresting. In such silence, only the light and lively sound of Sun's scissors and razor walking upstream of Lu Ji's beard can be heard. Yi, all right. Take a look. Sun smirked and brought the bronze mirror. Sun's hand is truly worthy of being the most famous imperial edict. Under his command, Lu Ji, who usually looks like a bandit, has a certain aura of a business tycoon. Not bad. Go down and enjoy the reward. Lu Ji looked left and right, naturally extremely satisfied. Thank you, second master. Yi, the leader is urging you. A voice came from outside the door. Got it, I'll go now. The main figure appeared, attracting praise from a group of guests, and Lu Ji accepted with a proud smile. The banquet was placed in the courtyard in the center of the estate, with rockeries, flowers, plants, and trees, not like a gang stronghold, but rather like a mansion for a certain official. With tens of thousands of members of the Black Shark Gang and hundreds of guests coming and going, it is naturally impossible for all of these people to have a banquet in the courtyard. Those who enter the courtyard are the backbone elites of the gang. Such as the 20 sub-helmsmen who are adjacent to the main road and on the right side of the 2 gang leaders, as well as the 180 heavenly gang and 360 earthly demons behind them. These are the backbone of the gang. They are usually ruthless characters who kill without blinking an eye. However, on Lu Ji's 50th birthday today, it is naturally impossible to show their usual posture, but there is still a hint of banditry and ferocity in their every move and move. Across from the main road are today's guests, who can be said to be the leaders of the Black Shark Gang, including big family leaders, merchant owners, and so on. It can be said that the people in this courtyard today represent almost 1/5 of the power of Night King City. At the beginning of the banquet, Lu Ji enjoyed the praise of numerous guests and the programs arranged by the gang. The first item is to protect the Dharma and offer longevity. The Dharma Protector consists of 20 branch helmsmen, each of whom is a master in charge of the territory who takes turns presenting gifts to the old birthday star Lu Jijin. The scene is extremely grand. Heavenly Fire Protector, offer 2 sets of Li Fire armor. Residual Sword Protector, offer a set of golden threads and jade clothes. One after another, box after box, the dazzling jewel of the Black Shark Gang revealed its wealth and strength, leaving visitors amazed. Angry Thunder Protector, present a 1,000-year-old Ganoderma lucidum. The voice of the MC fell, but there was no one like the person who had just offered. Angry Thunder Protector, present a 1,000-year-old Ganoderma lucidum. Fearing it was his own problem, the MC raised his voice and shouted again, but still no one appeared. The whole courtyard was stunned for a moment. This monkey cub seems to have been drinking too much and missed my second brother's big celebration. The gang leader, Black Shark King Zhao Qiu, found a step and laughed heartily. The Angry Thunder Protector is Ho Lei, a water monkey who previously traveled with Lu Ji. Seeing Zhao Qiu say so, the guests also burst into laughter, and under a few playful topics, Lu Ji's expression slightly improved. At this moment, the gate of the courtyard suddenly exploded, and then, amidst the horrified gazes of everyone, a black shadow suddenly shot in, fiercely hitting the red carpet in front of the birthday star Lu Ji. People gazed intently and saw a figure covered in blood. Someone recognized this figure, and it was undoubtedly the absent Thunderbolt Protector. Everyone is foolish, how dare anyone cause trouble on the 50th birthday of the Red Shark King? Who the hell is this person? Facing thousands of angry, bloodthirsty, and curious gazes, a figure slowly walked in from the shattered door. Which one is Lu Ji? Get out and suffer death. Chapter 10. The Death of the Red Shark. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Which one is Lu Ji? Get out and suffer death. On the territory of the Black Shark Gang, anyone who dares to arrogantly curse the deputy leader, the Red Shark King, feels that there is nothing more absurd than this. When people saw this figure clearly, the members of the Black Shark Gang, who were originally furious and eager to explode, were extremely angry and laughed back. Where did you get a baby who hasn't been weaned yet? The closest member to the gate was a member of the Heavenly Gang, who was at the peak of his realm. After seeing that the newcomer was just a little boy around 10 years old, he burst out laughing and stood up, casually reaching out his hand to grab Yi Ju, while his eyes turned towards the door. What's the point of having a little kid come to die? If you're not afraid of death, come in and say it. However, before he could finish speaking, he felt a chill in his outstretched arm. The next moment, he saw that one of his arms had already been completely severed. Ah! Little beast, I'll kill you. This member of the heavenly gang, disregarding his bleeding severed arm, stared at a pair of crimson eyes and worked hard with his other hand, punching Yi Ju's head. Yi Ju didn't even look at it, so he gently dodged the punch and casually slapped the member of the heavenly gang who was holding him up. Bang! Like a shell, the members of Tian gang, who were slapped by the night decision, fiercely smashed into the wall of the courtyard and collapsed a wall. Ask again, which one is Lu Ji? Get out and suffer death. All the guests were dumbfounded. Almost in the blink of an eye, an elite member of the Black Shark gang died at the hands of this unknown young man. Being called by name several times and being called out to die like a dog, even an ordinary person may already wish to eat its meat and drink its blood, let alone gang owners like Lu Ji who have been bullying for decades. Don't kill him, let's take a breath. I'm going to cut his flesh piece by piece. Lu Jiqiang suppressed his raging anger and gritted his teeth with an old face. The Black Shark gang, who had long been furious, immediately erupted like a pack of wolves in rebellion. 3 members of the early Second Realm Heavenly Gang rushed in at the same time, revealing their fangs and attacking, as if they were about to tear apart this shameless and uninvited guest. Yi Ju's eyebrows and eyes were displeased. Faced with the swords attacking together, he only had a pair of flesh fists. Bang 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 bang, a muffled voice sounded, and 3 meat sandbags flew out, leaving only blood on the ground. Instant defeat. But the Black Shark gang is not afraid, because there is nothing else here, there are plenty of people, and it is a group of bloodthirsty and ferocious villains like wild sharks. 6, 10, 20, the Black Shark gang had more and more people each time, but they couldn't change the outcome. They couldn't even make Night Ju sweat a drop. Good kid, I thought you were 10 fools, but I didn't expect you to have some skills. Lu Ji said with a gloomy expression. At this moment, Lu Ji was not surprised by the performance of the Night Resolution. Knowing him well, his killing intent was about to dissipate from his heart. Everyone, let's go together. Zhao Qiu was much calmer than Lu Ji. He understood that if this continued, his Black Shark gang would become a joke for everyone in the world. So, Zhao Qiu immediately stopped the gang members from committing suicide, and he wanted to use people to pile up this little monster from somewhere. Zhao Qiu's words are the golden rules, and the remaining hundreds of Black Shark gangs Heavenly Gang and Earthly Sha, as well as the remaining protectors, are like wolves coming out of their nests, blocking the sky and sun at this moment. Faced with so many experts from the first and second realms, even the super experts from the fourth realm are likely to be in a hurry. But Yi Ju's heart was extremely calm at this moment, because he was Yi Ju, the son of fate. So at this moment, he finally clenched his sword in his hand and handed it out. Jihuang 13 Style 3rd Style. Collapse of Heaven and Earth. The surging sword intent roars, as if it is about to burst this space. In the sight of everyone else, members of the Black Shark gang, like ants, surrounded and wrapped themselves in a huge black ball. Then, in the next moment, the terrifying sword intent surged and ravaged, and the black ball exploded into debris in the sky. This is impossible. Lu Ji suddenly stood up and widened his eyes to look at the miraculous scene before him. Most of the others present also had such expressions. Are you Lu Ji? Come here and suffer. Yi Ju still had his plain expression, but his pair of pitch-black eyes were filled with a cold and fierce killing intent. And at this moment, no one treats this little boy's words as crazy-eyed and crazy anymore. I know now, you are the only son of the Night King born 10 years ago, Night Heavenly Destiny. Finally, someone recognized Yi Ju and exclaimed in shock. What? Yi Tianming. He is the son of Tianming appointed by the ancestor of the Yi family. In the headquarters estate of the Black Shark Gang, a shocking storm has set off. He, who was that night's destiny. Lu Ji couldn't help but be shocked, and a huge wave surged in his heart. He knew several legitimate members of the Yi family, and their relationship with the Night King faction was not harmonious. In addition, with the support of Prince Wang, Lu Ji was not afraid of the Yi family. As long as he did not go too far, could Yi Zhixiu still personally commit suicide and come to his door. So, when Lu Ji saw an unfamiliar young man coming to his door, he was not afraid in his heart, but rather angry. But at this moment, the identity of the night execution is exposed. How can Lu Ji not be frightened and want to die? According to historical records, the ultimate achievement of the heavenly destiny sons of each generation in the Great Chu was at least the unparalleled strength of the 6 realms. The most powerful one, according to legend, even broke through the barrier of the 10 realms, arriving at the supreme realm. How can Lu Ji not be frightened as he only lived to the age of 50, which is just 3 realms? The name of a person, the shadow of a tree, even though this can be considered the first time that Yi Ju has truly demonstrated his skills in front of the world, the title of the Son of Destiny is something that makes it impossible for everyone to remain calm. I heard you're good at wielding swords. Pick up your sword and I'll give you a whole corpse. Yi Ju walked step by step towards the end of the main path, where the pale-faced Black and Red Shark King was. Yi Gongzi, I think this matter should be a misunderstanding. Zhao Qiuqiang said with suppressed fear. Are you going to die on his behalf? Yi Ju kept walking. Zhao Qiu immediately froze and could no longer speak. Yi Ju stepped on the red carpet covered in broken arms and limbs, making a slight sound. Everyone listened to the footsteps, as if stepping on their own heart. I have a good relationship with Prince Wang, dare you kill me? Lu Ji finally couldn't bear this kind of fear, gritted his teeth and said. Say it again, pick up the sword. Yi Ju stopped under the desk and looked up at Lu Ji with a sword-like expression in his eyes. Lu Ji dared not look at him and couldn't help but take a step back. Sword light flashed, and a large head flew high, leaving the headless body spewing blood and unable to fall. Seeing such an outcome, everyone couldn't help but take a deep breath. Night destiny, so domineering. Where's the thing? Yi Ju scanned the remaining members of the Black Shark Gang. Zhao Qiu was taken aback for a moment, and the others were also unaware of why. But some people were aware of the reason why Lu Ji and the Yi family were in this situation, and immediately ran quickly towards Lu Ji's lair. In no time, amidst the years of suffering and rest, the man ran back panting heavily, holding a magnificent coral gem in his hand. Night, young master. The person presented it with trembling hands. Yi Ju glanced at it and took it into his pocket. Debt repayment, murder repayment. Yi Ju glanced at Zhao Qiu and curved his lips. Alternatively, if you don't agree, you can come to me for revenge at any time. I dare not. Yi Gongzi is joking. Zhao Qiuqiang suppressed a hint of laughter. Yi never spoke again, but strode out on the remains of the Black Shark Gang scattered on the ground. When the figure of Yi Ju disappeared, the remaining people finally breathed a sigh of relief. Zhao Qiu looked at the chaos on the ground and felt even more sorrowful. He fainted in front of him. The rest of the people shook their heads. This notorious Black Shark Gang has really offended someone they shouldn't have today.